Welcome to the Mind for Success podcast. I'm your host, Kimberly Lebbing, and I love seeing business professionals, leaders, and entrepreneurs have massive success in their businesses. Are you ready to reach a higher level in your business? Are you looking to rise to the top and break through the barriers that are holding you back? If this is you, join us on the Mind for Success podcast. Hello and welcome to the Mind for Success podcast. I am your host, Kimberly Lebbing, and today we're going to talk about goals. As business owners and entrepreneurs, we're in that last stretch of 2022. And I'm thinking about goals. How did we do this past year? How are we going to end up by the end of the year? Because it's important to think about. And at the end of this, so I want to give you, first, we're going to talk about how to successfully set goals and achieve them. We're going to talk about some of the problems that people have. And then at the end, I am going to share with you a technique that I do with my clients on how to set goals subconsciously into your future. So you'll want to listen to the end. So thanks again for being on today. So first things first, I want to give you a little bit of statistics on goals. A lot of times we hear this stuff in January, and then by the time it gets towards the end of the year, we completely forget about it. And that is that 80% of goals are abandoned only after the first month. And I know even as business owners, maybe we review our goals monthly, but sometimes we quickly give up on them. So most people set goals and they don't even realize that the reason that they're not hitting them or the reason that they're not consistent is because there's a subconscious block or something that's holding them back. There's a thing that's stopping them from achieving what they really, really want. And so I'm going to go in today and just talk briefly about what those things might be. So the very first thing that I find with some of the entrepreneurs that I work with is that there's something called either toward motivated or away from motivated goals. And I'll explain the difference. So a toward motivated goal is a goal that is positively motivated. So your motive is to move towards something. So it's towards a positive outcome. It's towards, like, say, I want to build a lasting income for me and my family, or I want to be able to spend more time personally, outside of the work I do. It's something positively motivated. There's not a negative thing that you're trying to get away from. A away from motivated goal is the opposite. You're moving away from things. So a lot of times, business owners, entrepreneurs, that's the reason why they get started in their business, because it's an away from motivated thing. They want to get away from the corporate world. They want to get away from the boss that they have. They want to get away from someone else owning their time. And this is also the reason, if they don't learn the lesson in that and turn it into something more positive, that is a lot of the reason why a lot of them end up out of business, because what it does is when you're away from motivated, it produces inconsistent results because it's negatively motivated. So it doesn't give us the fuel and fire that we need to keep going and to keep achieving that goal. So the best way that I can describe this most simplistic way, is it's an example that I love using because everybody resonates with it. And this is, let's pretend you've got a girl who is getting married. Wedding date is let's say June 1st, and she wants to lose weight because she doesn't want to look fat in her dress. That's her motivation. She doesn't want to look fat in her dress, so she's going to lose weight. So here it is. It's several months before. So I don't want to look fat in my dress. So I'm going to eat less calories. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to run. I'm going to walk. I'm going to do this fad diet. I'm going to do that. And coming up to June 1st, she's lost the, let's say 20, 30 pounds she wanted to lose. Well, the day of the wedding, all of a sudden, the wedding day comes. Her new husband is there. She sees cake, she sees wine, she sees champagne. There's a honeymoon with all you can eat. They go to a resort where everything's included and there's all you can eat everything. She throws everything out the window because her goal was negatively motivated. There was nothing in it that kept her going past the wedding date. So her goal was to not look fat, which she did. She didn't look fat in her wedding dress, which she did. It was accomplished and there was nothing forward moving. If her goal instead would have been, I want to stay at a healthy weight. I would also pay attention to the way that's worded and keep that positive instead of losing weight, a healthy weight instead. And there's some psychology behind that, because if you lose weight, you may find it again, or it may find you. But if she would have focused on being at a healthy weight with a positive motivation, such as I want to be at a healthy weight so that I'm there for my kids, so that I can, for my future kids, so that me and my husband can go do things together, so that I'm at the best health I can be, so that whenever we go on trips, we can, go mountain climbing or whatever it is. So having the motivation switch from negative to positive can keep us consistent. So if our goals in our business are negatively motivated, they're away from motivated, we're pushing away from something, a lot of times that can keep you going in the right direction. It's a good start off point, but it's not something that keeps you consistent. I have a client that did this, and we found out in her very first session. She did a 4-hour session with me as part of her. She coached longer, but when we did her 4-hour session, we found out that everything and she was very successful, but every single goal that she had hit, she would plateau. And we found out that the reason for this is that her real subconscious reason for reaching the success levels that she was at was so that she wouldn't be like her parents. She was trying not to do something. There's a whole lot of energy that gets sucked out of you whenever you are negatively motivated to not do something, or to not be like someone, or to get away from somebody. It's a negative energy and it's draining. And this is why you end up being inconsistent, because when that energy is draining, it's hard to keep going. So whenever we did her session, we were able to get to that real reason. If you've heard me talk before, I get to what's the root cause, what's the real reason, where did it come from, what caused it, and then we pull it out by the roots so that it changes subconsciously. And now she's making decisions coming from a good place, coming from a place of, I want to reach this goal because and it's a positively motivated goal, because I want a good future for me and my husband. I want to reach this goal because, this is, I want to be the healthiest I can be for my grandchildren, whatever that is for you. So do you see the difference? It's really huge. This is really important to know. And the first tip, or the first thing to know, the first step in fixing any problem is being aware of it. So now that you know, you know. So now that you know, you can ask yourself, is this goal a negatively or away from motivated goal? Or is it toward? Am I moving towards something? You always want to check that. And if you are moving away from something, it's very, very possible that you have a subconscious block there that needs to be removed in order for you to move towards something. I hope that makes sense. So the second part, and this goes into what I just said, just leads perfectly into that, is when you have a subconscious block. This is another reason why people maybe don't reach their goals. So another simple explanation, consciously, January 1st, everybody wants to go to the gym. I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to turn over a new leaf, and I'm going to have this healthy lifestyle. And, this is the 80% of people that don't end up 3 weeks later, they've totally abandoned that goal. Well, consciously, they want that goal. Subconsciously, what's going on is, I really value my comfort. I like staying in bed. I don't like going out and doing, this or that, or maybe I have a perception of the work that's involved. It's so hard to go and work out, or hard to get there. Maybe there's some beliefs there that aren't really serving you. So the second reason people don't achieve goals that they want to achieve is because their conscious and their subconscious are not aligned. And there's a block in between the two. And this is known. I mean, if you think about it, we've all heard that our subconscious mind is the real one that's driving our behavior and our actions, 90% of it, in fact. So it's not a huge surprise when you think about it that your conscious mind and your subconscious mind might be at odds with each other and may not be doing the things that you want it to do, because you have a subconscious block that maybe you've never even thought about. I have another client. This brings me to think about another client that I worked with that she wanted to grow her business. She wanted to hire a team. She wanted to and she had a little bit of a team, but she wanted to really, really grow it. She wanted to start training other people how to do it and hiring. And this was her goal, but yet she hadn't been able to get there for 3-4 years. And she's just a incredibly intelligent person, incredibly intelligent. So logically, it didn't even make sense that she wasn't able to do this. But when we started really diving into, why her consciously she wanted to grow her business and expand, subconsciously it wasn't letting her. And the subconscious reason behind it was she had problems with trust. And when you have some problems with trust, it's really hard to let go of tasks. It's hard to trust other people to do things. It's hard to trust yourself on whether or not you're hiring the right team. It's hard. You feel like she was really overwhelmed. She wasn't getting anywhere because she wasn't letting go of anything because of the trust. So that's another reason why some people do not achieve their goals. They've got this subconscious conflict going on. And until you figure out what that is, and again, goes back to you got to identify it. You got to get to the root cause of it. You got to find out where it started. And then you can pull it out by its roots or reframe it, find out what you learned from it. And then you can start on that new behavior part. So it's really, really important to do this if you want to achieve goals. And the very last thing that I want to share with you today, and if you are, if you're listening to this and you're in the car, this is the part you may want to play back again, is I want to share with you how I share with my clients. It's a technique I share with my clients, how we subconsciously set goals into the future. And I've had really, really great results with this technique, as long as this is a client that's already removed the blocks. So we've already removed the blocks. It works really, really well. You most certainly can try it regardless, because it's not going to hurt you. But if you aren't getting the results that you want, it's probably because you haven't subconsciously removed those blocks that are keeping you or holding you back. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you're working with a SMART goal. If you don't know what a SMART goal is, I'll tell you. You can Google this, so go out and Google it but I'll give you the Cliff Note version of it. A SMART goal, SMART stands for, S is for specific, M is measurable, A is attainable, R is relevant, and T means that it is time-based. So you have to have a time frame on it, and it's got to be very specific. So, and again, I keep going back to health examples, but it's just the easiest to give you an example of, and you can apply it to your business. If I say I want to lose weight, that's not very specific. But if I say, because honestly, if I lose 1 pound, I've already met my goal. If I say I want to lose 10 pounds by December 31st, that is something I can work with. And then I can even get more specific and say, I'm going to do this by exercising every day or reducing my calories by X amount, and you make it what you want. The same thing can be done with any of your business goals. So it has to be a SMART goal. That's number one. The next step, subconsciously, to set this in your future is to visualize the last step. So what thing lets you know that you got that goal? So what is it? Whatever that last step is, I want you to visually, really actively visualize it. So is it something in your bank account? Will you and your family be out celebrating? What is that last step that needs to happen? That's the second part. So SMART goal, what's the last step? Actively visualize that last step. And when I say actively visualize, what will you see? What will you hear? How will you feel? Really, really step into it. That's the third part. And then you want to visually place that goal in your future. So like actively visualizing that goal happening on whatever date you set in your future, and drop it right down into that date. And when you've done that, you have subconsciously set the goal, and you will see that the actions and behaviors that need to take place for you to achieve that goal will line right up so that you can get that goal done. So I hope you found this helpful. Thank you for listening today, and I will see you on the next episode.
Are you ready to break through the barriers that are holding you back and reach a higher level in your business in just 4 hours? Be sure to click the link today and join other high-achieving professionals that have worked with Kimberly Lebbing to accelerate their success.